Good morning, everyone. Hello to anybody that's watching for the first time. We do a midweek treat feature every Wednesday at 10. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was still in bed a little while ago. Can you all hear me okay? In fact, just a sec. Oh, yes, you can. Sorry, I was just checking the sound. Right. So welcome to everybody that's new. I know we've had a lot of new page likers recently. So if you've not seen us before, or if you have and you've missed us, we're going to do a Christmas card today. So I'm going to be using a mix of lots of different stamps. I apologise, I don't clean them. So I'm going to be using the Timber Boutique Script Stamp for making a background, and we're also going to be using the pronounced poinsettias that I believe they're on sale on the website, and we're also going to bring in the new Floral jug wealth of watercolour. So we're going to make a Christmas card with this one. Oh, I'm so pleased with how much smoother the camera is, because it was quite jumpy before, wasn't it? But it seems we've got that fixed, so that's one bonus. Right, so first off then, I'm going to do a script embossed background. So I'm just going to tape a piece. This is just copier paper here. So I'm using my large stamping platform because obviously it's big stamp. So I'm just going to lay that onto there, make sure I've not got any hairs and sisal and bits. And I'm just going to press that down just to pick that stamp up. Right, so I'm going to do some gold heat embossing. Just plug my heat gun in. Thank you for joining me, by the way. We are still building the feature, so to be fair, I didn't give anybody any warning either, did I, that we were doing the feature again this week. But it will be regular. Make sure we're all plugged in. Okay. Right, so I'm going to use Versamark. Hi, Diane. Hi, Sheila. Right. So I'm just going to ink up all of the stamp just using my Versamark ink pad. So we might have to go in a couple of times, which is why we're using the stamping platform. So obviously with heat embossing, you want to make sure you've picked all of it up. Just give this a good press all over. Obviously you can use the full stamp like this, but the amount of times that I just use a section of it just to build up an image, and it's just such a nice filler stamp. Right. So I didn't use my anti-static bag because I'm not too bothered if I get speckles, because it's not really about it being perfectly crisp. I can see I've got a bit of an area that's not picked up there, but that's fine because it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just going to sprinkle my gold embossing powder over the top. Oh yes, and pick up this design. The reason I went for copier paper as well is I wanted it to look like, so we can distress it a little bit with some of the Dinky Inkies and make it look a little bit like an actual page from a book or a diary. Right. So hopefully you can see it's picked up all of that script. And you can read the script, but obviously you don't have to, and you can just do it messy if you want. Oh, to be fair, Debbie, I'm definitely having more in on the 7th or 8th of December, so they will be back in time for Christmas. But failing that, I know I've got some left at work, so I'll double check on the stock and list them after this. I do apologise, I'm about to heat tool, so my mic will go off. We've still not figured out what that is, so I promise I'm not saying anything important. Hopefully I'm back on the microphone now, but hopefully you can see that golden shimmer to it. I do apologise about my hands as well. We unloaded 4 pallets of wood off of the back of a lorry yesterday, so I got a few little cuts and grazes, but it's fine. So just a heads up, I have been working. Sorry about that. Right, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use it as half a pattern on my card base. Hi everyone! The Dreamees page that's answering is more than likely Mum, so if you see comments back, it's not me, it is Mum. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to tear it just down the middle like this. That's why I'm not too bothered about what script is on where and if there's patches or anything like that. And then I'm just going to grab my chocolate syrup. It's such a nice stamp, isn't it? Oh wow, thank you for joining me everybody. So I've just got my chocolate syrup Dinky Inky from the new collection, and I'm just doing the edge here. So I've just picked up the edge a little bit, but I'm thinking I might go a little bit further in, to be honest. So you can just do it to the edge like this, and that's what I tend to do quite a lot of the time. But if you do want to go further in, you can just either drag the ink like this, or if you have got a glass mat, you'll get a much smoother distress look if you're using it on something like that, on acrylic, on your stamping platform, on your glass mat, obviously, your mylar or something like that. So we've just picked up the edge there. And I have stuck one onto my card already, but all I did is just line this up against the edge, trim around it, and then when you get this solid edge that's going to be your card there, just fill in with this ink again and add it so that you're going to get this brown all the way around there. Sorry if I'm not answering comments, guys. They're not coming up on my screen, to be honest. Oh, it would be nice as a stencil. That's a good idea. Right, so this is the one that I'd done a little bit earlier. But you can see how we got to that point. And then I've just got some white card and I've just inked the edges again. To be honest, you can do stitching, you can do a bit of everything if you wanted to. Or, do you know what we will do? Because this will look amazing embossed. Is the splatter from the Flowers in Bloom Timber Boutique stamp set. I love this one. Right, so I'm just going to use my Versamark again and just go a little bit around the edges. So I'm going to pop a tag on there with my image on. So I don't need too much detail, but it's just going to add that little bit of speckle. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. Going to pick up the speckle. I've not done it embossed before. See, I used to get this effect by, it was something called Frantage. That was a while ago. And it used to be that you'd sprinkle your embossing powder on and then you'd heat from below and then it wouldn't fly away, so you'd get that speckled effect. But this is so much easier for me. Right, so just a little speckle. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm not using any papers today, I'm just using white card and red card and a bit of craft card, but it's nothing like, no backing papers or anything like that. So I've cut myself a tag and this is what my image is going to be on here. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to rough up the edges of the tag. So to be honest, I don't know if I've shown you how I make tags, so I will. Right, so what I tend to do, it is really easy, and I'm sorry like if you think this is really basic, but I never know like the the level of crafters that watch this. Like, it could be some people that have no idea how you would possibly get a tag. So we'll cover it just in case. Right, so I'd cut the sort of size tag that I'm aiming for. So if I was going to stamp maybe the Santa Paws image on there, I'd make sure that my image is going to fit. And then if you need it slimmer or anything like that, but then all I'll do is just chop off one corner and then just mirror it. It's so simple, and that's just the way that I get my tags. I know a lot of people, they rely on having dies and things like that. But let's do it this way. I've got a better angle. And then just trim along that same line. And then you've got an equal tag. So that's how I create those. Obviously you can do them thinner, you can do them taller, you can do whatever you like. Well, that's how we got this particular tag. So I've got my chocolate syrup again. Let's rough the edges up first. So I'm just giving these a rough up. Because I just don't want it to be too pristine, you know, because we've got the torn edge there. I just want it to look a little bit messier. So then I'm just going to ink the edges a little bit just to highlight it. So then I've pre-done a jug, but again, I'll gladly show you. What I'm thinking is I'll stamp the jug there so I know where I'm aiming for. And then that way, when I layer one over the top, I know where we're going and where the flowers are and things like that. So I'm just going to pop the jug just in the middle at the bottom there, and then we're going to create a Christmas bouquet here. So I'm just using the VersaFine ink pad. Those are coming back in stock today. The delivery is most definitely on the van. I've had the text already, so the ink pads will be back up again a little bit later. I'm sorry they've taken so long. Right, so I'm just popping my jug there. And then I've got one that I did a little bit earlier, the same technique, just with the heat embossing, and that's just going to layer over the top. But at least then I know exactly where I'm going with it. And I can position those flowers and do my arrangement ahead of time there. I do apologise if you hear my sniffing as well. I don't know what it is. Right, so I've got some watercolour pencils out. I'm just going for the greens because I want to create a bit of a filler area here. I think as well, do a bit of the stamping. I might go for some green leaves, brown leaves. Right, so we'll go in with the VersaFine again. Right. So these are from the Floral jug stamp set. So I'm just going to fill out some leaves here and just build that up. Because obviously you do get them that are already pre-built. Oh, yes, some leaves across there. Perfect. So yeah, you do get the images that are like pre-built, so you don't have to think about it as such. But then you've also got the options here of you can build these images up if you want to. Right, so then I'm going to add in some speckles again. I'm just thinking I'm going to do these in the gold, just so we've got that gold coming through. So just pop in some of these sprays. So I just want to fill the spaces between the leaves there before we add in some watercolour green leaves, or green sprigs. So we'll just sprinkle that on. Now if you haven't got a VersaFine ink pad, your embossing powder will stick to other things. Gosh. So you might be able to see that my embossing powder is stuck to these leaves. So if you have got VersaFine clear ink pads, or you know, the normal VersaFine obviously as well, And you can do it with your Dinky Inkies, so if you haven't got VersaFine, don't worry about that. You can put your powder on top of any ink really that stays sticky enough. Right. Right, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I mean. It's picked up some of the leaves there, so I didn't brush all of it off, so we've got some half brown, half gold leaves as well. So that looks really cute. And then if we just go back in with that leaf again and add in some more brown ones, I'm just going to do the top of it now rather than all of it. Just to add some extra frippery. Right. Morning everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry I'm not seeing all your comments. I'm a little bit engrossed, to be honest. This is one of the first times that I'm building up an image with not what's in the kit sort of thing. So, oh, yes, this will be nice. Right, and then I'm going to add in some just thin lines of green just to go with that same Christmassy sort of feel. Just to add in a bit of the greenery. So I'm just adding flicks of watercolour pencil. I don't think I'll blend it out. I might do. We'll see. Right, and I'm just following a bits of the leaves as well. Just filling that out. I just don't want it to look bare. Right. Yes, so that's going to go on there. Right, so the Poinsettia stamps that we're using then. So it's this tiny one up here. And I've done some stamped and heat embossed. So I've got a few of these cut out. And they're tiny, but you can still see all the detail on the petals, but with that gold. I'm going to put a little white pearl in the centre of them, I think. And that's really going to fill them up. So I've done those ahead of time, but I'll show you the stamps as well when we get to the arrangement part for around the side of the card. So I'm just going to get my flower mat, my ball tool, and I'm just going to press in the middle of them just to lift them up a little bit, and hopefully you can see those. It's just sort of lifted from the side. If I pick that up, you can see we've kind of got a little cup shaped flower now. So I'm just going to do that. I've got 7, I think. So I'm just hoping that'll fill out the area. Oh, sorry for the noise. Terrible at dropping things. Yes, I'm very happy with this coming along. When I was sat putting the pack together that I was going to make with, I thought, oh, it's going to look nice, but like when you put it actually together and you see it coming together, not just layered and things like that, it is a nice feeling when it works. Right, so I'm just shaping my jug a little bit, not too much, because obviously we've got the stamped image below. So I don't need it to be too shaped so that it changes like the shape of the jug so that it doesn't overlap properly. Right, there we go. Right, and then I'm going to grab my hot glue, because obviously these flowers are small. And I want to make sure that they stick straight away and don't keep moving. Right, so I'm thinking one at the bottom. It's just overlapping the edge. I think we need some brown in the centre there. I'm just gonna go in with my leaf. Right. So I'm just using my Dinky inky lid, just because I want it to go into this small space here. And just fill that out a little bit. So you don't obviously have to use blocks if you don't want. The Dinky inky lids are perfect. Right. So then we can pop another one onto there. Yeah, I think this will fill out nice. Sorry, I'm being quiet, guys. I'm trying to make sure I get them in. Yeah, I think that looks nice, doesn't it? It looks a nice full arrangement. Right. So then, I think I might add in some little dots of brown, just in little swirls almost, just as extra little filler. I don't know if you can see, just like here, where I've just added those little dots, and over here as well. I'm going to add in some flicks of the brown as well. So this is just a brown fine liner. Yeah, there we go. Right, so then for the hole at the top, so I wanted to put something through it. So this is some ribbon that we have in the shop that just says express delivery. I think it's 75p a metre, and then we've got a deal, I think it's 5 for 250. I think I'm trying to figure out in my head if that makes, yeah, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So it could be that price. It could also not be that price, but right. So I'm going to try and keep it so that you can see both, I think. I'm just going to hot glue it on. I'm not going to thread it through that hole, I don't think. Sorry for that beeping. So we'll pop that side onto there. I'm just going to try and fold it round like that, just so we get both express deliveries showing. Right, then we could trim that off as well. I really need to get myself some new ribbon scissors. Right, there we go. So that's going to be the topper. In fact, I'll put my pearls on now. I'm just going to add my little white 4mm pearls into the centres. I've used the 4mm pearls so much. Oh, we'll go for cream actually. It's looking so cute. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Just proves whatever you've got in your stash, you can make Christmas cards, even if it's an everyday image. Right, so then that is going to go onto our card there. Okay, so I've got a craft card base. So that's about 7 by 7, and then I've gone down in about 1/4 inches. Right, so we'll just pop a bit of glue on the back. So I'm layering up a white piece, a red piece, and then we're going for the script background that we popped on there afterwards. Right, there we go. This just kind of reminds me of gingerbread. I feel like we need a gingerbread stamp now. Just the brown and red and the white in there. Okay. And I'm just going to pop this on foam pads. Oh, I've took them all off. Didn't even notice that myself. Right, I'm going to pop a bit of... Oh, no I'm not. We'll save the sisal for the flower arrangement. So I'm just popping a bit of hot glue on there as well, just for quick grab. So that's going to go there. Right, and then I'm going to make a little arrangement just around this side here. And then we can pop a sentiment on it. Right, so I've just got a little bit of the natural sisal. I'm just going to pop this here. There we go. Right, and then we can trim that off wherever we think there's excess. And obviously save all your little bits that you trim off, because you can just create a cluster of it rather than it being all in lengths. You can use up all your little bits on your cards as well. Right. So then we've got some of the precious poinsettias that I've already heat embossed. So I won't show you the heat embossing because we've seen plenty of that tonight, or today even. Is it not even night time yet? That's like a terrible excuse. I've not been up very long. So to say, is it bedtime yet is really bad. Where are the stamps? Oh, here they are. No, they're not. Here we are. Right, so I've got the largest one. So they're not super large, but they're good for like a 6 by 6 to an 8 by 8 card, I'd say, depending on how much you want to build it up. Right, there we go. So you can see, I mean, I do love heat embossing. It looks so nice in the gold, but you know, if you're doing something a little bit more subtle, they're still really pretty for that. So I've got 2 for my main image, and then I've just gone for 1 layer for the next one along. There it is, flower mat. Right, so I'm just going to flip them over and just use my big end of the ball tool just to roll down each petal. There we go. And then just press in the centre there. And then we're just going to layer up the 2 of them and offset these petals just like that. There we go. So that's going to be the main flower for in this bottom corner here of the card. And then these ones, we're not layering up, we're just putting a bit of pressure on the back there. You can use your smaller ball tool, obviously, for your smaller flowers. Right, so we can pop these onto the card. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on there. And the other two just either side. Sorry, I keep moving out of the shot. There we go. Oh. And that one there as well. Right, I think I'll pop in a little bit of moss, just as a little bit of a filler, because we have got the green in there as well. So just filling in any little areas that I think needs a little bit more filler, just to create that same arrangement. And then I'm thinking, oh, a couple of pine cones. Yeah, we need pine cones in. I'm trying to find some of these. A lot of people have said how much they like them, and I bought them from Hobbycraft. So I am trying to find a place to source them from to stock for you all. But watch this space. They are really cute little pine cones, just nice for adding in a little Christmas arrangement like this. There we go. Right, I think I'm going to switch to my 6mm pearls now. It's alright, you don't have to join me live, it's not a problem, it'll be here forever. To be fair though, I didn't remind anyone, so don't feel bad, that's all on me. Right, so we'll pop a little bit of glue in here. And we're going for the same colour of the pearls, the ivory sort of cream colour. And then I'm just going to pop 3 red ones up here. I was going to put my sentiment up here, but I feel like it needs to be on the side, so we'll do that instead. Right, so I brought home the mini sentiments. I think they're £1 or £1.50 on the website. So we've got the Have a Magical Christmas, Warm Winter Wishes, Peace, Love and Joy, Happy Christmas and a Very Merry Christmas. It's just a little mini stamp set. I'm thinking a Very Merry Christmas, I think. Right, and we will also heat emboss that, I think. I think the gold will... No, we'll stamp it in brown, but then we'll do some splatter around the edge. So if we just grab a piece of white card, this will be fine. Okay, so it is a small sentiment, which I think is really nice for little... It just reminds me of clothes tags. You know when you've got your washing instructions in your clothes? And then I just trim it into a little tag, and that's what it reminds me of, like care instructions for your card. Even though it's not, it's just a sentiment. Right, so we can trim that a little bit, so I don't want too much overhang. And then if we trim the sides a little bit, but then I'm leaving excess on the bottom so that that can slot in to our tab or to our tag even. Right, so a little bit of, in fact, yeah, we'll do the here bottom. So I've got my splatter again, and I did have my acrylic block, there it is. So we just add Versamark, a little bit of Versamark just around the edges of this splatter stamp there, just to add in that extra little bit of gold. There we go. Alright, get rid of this powder. There we go. And then we'll just ink that up a little bit. Oh, where put me? There it is. So I've got my chocolate syrup ink pad again, and I'm just going around the edge a little bit there. And then I'm just going to grab a foam pad, just pop that on the top of the tab there. And then this is just going to slot in the side. Might line it up with the edge then. There we go. And I think that's done. Right, I'll give you guys a recap of everything that we've used. And thank you very much for joining me. I've really enjoyed that card. So what we've used then is we've used craft card, white card, and the Poinsettia red cardstock that we sell on the website. We used the Timber Boutique Script Stamp, which I will double check the stock, and I've definitely got some left that we can list. So I'll get that on the website straight after. We've used the Floral Jug Wealth of Watercolour, or you can get the full collection of all three. You do end up getting the third stamp set for free if you buy all three, but obviously it's completely up to you whichever ones you prefer. Then we've used the pronounced poinsettias for the little arrangement in there. We used the Wealth of Watercolour, we used the flowers in bloom for the little splatters, and the inks that we've used are the sparkle shades of sparkle Dinky Inkies. We used the same flowers for the arrangement here, the pronounced poinsettias. We used a little bit of moss and sisal, and then we have also used the gold embossing powder and both 6mm and 4mm pearls as well. I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. We got quite a few today. I think it's the best one we've had on the Dreamees page. Right, well, I am off to work. We've got plenty of orders still to pack for all sorts of things, so it's very hectic at this time of year, but it's good. Thank you so much for your support all the time. It's amazing. Couldn't ask for a better customer base and friends as well, so thank you. I will post this video up and the picture of the card and the list of everything as soon as I can. I might even do it as a sped up version as well, so you've not got to sit and watch all of it again if you didn't want to. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely rest of your week. I presume Mum might be in Dreamy Catchers Live again tonight. But failing that, it'll be tomorrow as well. And I'll be back with the midweek treat next week. And I have done the Sunday sketch as well, which is a really nice one, using this same range of stamps this week. So be sure to tune in for that on Sunday. and I will see you very soon. Thanks again for joining me. Bye!